For centuries, humans have dreamed of a world where machines do the work for us, a world where technology eliminates drudgery, where productivity soars, where people are liberated from repetitive labor and free to pursue creativity, leisure, and fulfillment. That dream has resurfaced with every major technological leap. From the steam engine to the assembly line to the computer. And now, with artificial intelligence and advanced robotics, it's back again. We're told automation will make life easier, that AI will increase efficiency, that robots will handle dangerous, boring, or physically exhausting jobs, that society will become wealthier as productivity rises. But there's a question that rarely gets asked clearly. Who actually benefits? Because history suggests that automation doesn't distribute its gains automatically. Technology can increase productivity, it can expand total wealth, but how that wealth is distributed depends entirely on who owns the technology and who has power in the economy. To understand the stakes of AI and robotics, we need to start with a simple principle. Automation replaces labor with capital. When a machine performs a task previously done by a human worker, the cost structure changes. Wages decline as a share of production, returns to capital, meaning profits increase. If workers own the machines, they benefit. If corporations own the machines, shareholders benefit. That distinction is everything. During the Industrial Revolution, mechanization dramatically increased output. Textile mills, steam-powered factories, railroads, productivity exploded. But working conditions were often brutal. Wages were low, hours were long, wealth concentrated among industrialists. Eventually, labor movements, regulations, and social reforms redistributed some of the gains. The 8-hour workday, child labor laws, collective bargaining, social safety nets. Technology didn't automatically improve lives. Political struggle did. Fast forward to the late 20th century, computers and automation began replacing clerical work, manufacturing jobs, and certain types of skilled labor. Productivity rose again, corporate profits expanded, but wage growth began to stagnate. In many advanced economies, productivity continued increasing while median wages flattened. The benefits of automation accrued disproportionately to executives, shareholders, and asset owners. This wasn't because technology failed, it was because bargaining power shifted. Globalization, declining unionization, financialization, they all weakened labor's ability to claim a share of productivity gains. Automation became a tool not just for efficiency, but for leverage. If a worker can be replaced by software, the negotiation power diminishes. Now, we're entering a new phase. Artificial intelligence systems can write text, generate images, analyze data, and assist in decision-making. Robotics are becoming more flexible and adaptable. Warehouses operate with minimal human oversight. Self-checkout replaces cashiers. Algorithms manage logistics, hiring, and scheduling. Unlike earlier waves of automation, which primarily affected manual labor, AI increasingly targets cognitive tasks. White-collar workers are no longer insulated. This expansion intensifies an old dynamic. When machines augment workers, productivity rises. When machines replace workers, labor income falls. Companies often frame automation as augmentation, tools that help employees work faster and smarter. And sometimes that is true. AI can assist doctors in diagnosing diseases. It can help engineers design more efficient systems. It can eliminate repetitive administrative work. But there's another path. If a company can reduce headcount while maintaining output, shareholder returns increase, labor costs shrink, profit margins expand. And in publicly traded corporations, profit maximization is the primary mandate. So, who benefits from automation? First, shareholders. When productivity increases without proportional wage growth, profits rise. Those profits flow to investors. Stock buybacks increase share prices. Executive compensation tied to equity expands. Second, executives. Automation can justify restructuring, outsourcing, and downsizing. Cost savings improve quarterly results. Leadership is rewarded for efficiency gains. Third, technological firms. Companies that develop AI models, robotic systems, and automation infrastructure gain enormous market power. Data becomes an asset. Algorithms become intellectual property. Network effects entrench dominance. Meanwhile, workers face uncertainty. Some jobs, they disappear entirely. Others end up redefined. New roles emerge, but not always at the same wage level, and not always in the same location. Historically, technological change created new industries that absorbed displaced workers, but transitions were rarely smooth. Generational dislocation occurred. Regions dependent on declining industries struggled for decades. The difference today is speed and scale. AI systems can be developed globally almost instantly. Software updates propagate in seconds. A breakthrough in machine learning can affect millions of workers within years rather than decades. This compresses adaptation time. There's also a skills mismatch problem. Jobs created by advanced automation often require specialized training. Engineering, data science, robotics maintenance. Workers displaced for retail or transportation may not easily transition into those fields. Without policy intervention, displacement can outpace retraining. Some argue that fears of automation are overblown, that AI will create more jobs than it destroys, that new industries we can't yet imagine will emerge. Possibly, but even if total employment remains stable, distribution matters. If new jobs pay less, offer fewer benefits, or require relocation, overall welfare may decline for many workers even as aggregate output rises. And this brings us back to ownership. If AI and robotics are primarily owned by large corporations, then gains concentrate. If productivity doubles but wages don't, inequality widens, and inequality has cascading effects. Wealth concentration influences political power. It shapes regulation. It affects taxation. It determines whether social safety nets expand or contract. Automation doesn't just change workplaces, it reshapes institutions. There is another possibility though. If automation dramatically increases productivity, society could choose to reduce working hours instead of eliminating jobs. A 4-day work week, shorter shifts, more vacation time. In theory, if machines handle more output, humans could share the remaining work and maintain living standards with less labor. But that requires deliberate policy choices. Without collective bargaining or regulation, companies have little incentive to voluntarily reduce hours while maintaining pay. Historically, reductions in working time resulted from organized labor pressure and legislative action, not technological inevitability. AI also introduces surveillance capabilities. Algorithms can track work performance in granular detail. Warehouse employees can be monitored for speed and accuracy. Delivery drivers tracked in real time. Office productivity measured through keystrokes and activity logs. Automation doesn't just replace labor, it can intensify it. Technology that could reduce workload can instead increase expectations. If output per worker rises, performance benchmarks rise with it. The same tools that promise liberation can also enforce acceleration. There's also the geopolitical dimension. Countries investing heavily in AI and robotics may gain economic and military advantages. National strategies are forming around semiconductor manufacturing, data infrastructure, and research leadership. Automation becomes a strategic asset. But within countries, distribution remains political. Will AI-generated wealth fund universal basic income programs, expanded public services, debt relief, or will it reinforce existing hierarchies? History provides caution. The digital revolution created immense wealth. It also contributed to winner-take-all markets, tech monopolies, and growing inequality. Platform companies consolidated control over information flows and digital infrastructure. AI could amplify those patterns. Large firms with vast data sets and computing resources have structural advantages. Smaller competitors struggle to match scale. Barriers to entry rise. Market concentration deepens. And when markets concentrate, bargaining power shifts further away from workers. None of this means automation is inherently harmful. Technological progress has improved living standards dramatically over centuries. Life expectancy has been increased. Dangerous labor has declined. Access to information expanded. The issue is governance. Automation is a tool. Whether it liberates or marginalizes depends on policy, ownership, and power structures. Imagine two scenarios. In the first, AI increases productivity by 50%. Corporations reduce labor costs, profits soar, executives and shareholders capture most gains, wages stagnate, employment becomes more precarious, wealth inequality widens. In the second, AI increases productivity by 50%, but governments tax excess profits progressively. Working hours are reduced while maintaining pay. Public services expand. Education and retraining programs are funded robustly. The gains are socialized. Same technology, different outcomes. The difference lies not in algorithms, but in institutions. Right now, most AI development is driven by private capital seeking return on investment. I mean, it's not surprising. Research and deployment are expensive, so investors expect profit. But if AI becomes foundational infrastructure, like electricity or the internet, arguments for public oversight may grow stronger. Because the stakes are high, automation has the potential to eliminate dangerous jobs, reduce waste, accelerate scientific discovery, and increase material abundance. But it also has the potential to entrench inequality, weaken weaken labor bargaining power and concentrate wealth even further. Technology does not determine destiny, power does. So, when we ask who benefits from AI and robotics, we shouldn't just look at productivity statistics or GDP growth projections. We should ask who owns the systems, who sets the rules, and who captures the surplus. If automation is guided primarily by shareholder value, then benefits will flow upward. If guided by democratic accountability and collective bargaining, benefits can be shared. The machines are coming either way. The real question is whether they will serve the many or the few. And that answer really depends not on code, but on choices. Political choices, economic choices, collective choices. Automation will shape the future of work, but who benefits from that future? That part is still being decided.